People, how's everybody doing? I'm hoping everybody's having a beautiful day on the Lord's day. This is actually this is actually not the Sabbath, but we call it the Sabbath. At least that's what everybody else does. So we do a lot of our appreciation for the Most High on this day. But we should be appreciating the Most High every day. Every day we wake up, we should be blessing the Most High that we have lived another day, that we're still breathing, that our families and the people that we love is in good condition, that the things that we need to do, we're going to get done. Remember, we have to think it, and then it's going to happen. With that being said, we have a real conversation, as usual, today, and I want to talk about, just so we can be clear, some of the interviews that have been done by Troy Ave and how these interviews might contrast with what's being said in court, and how in actuality some of these interviews, I'm sorry for the people who might not want to hear this, but some of these interviews might actually be helping Taxstone. There's reasons why they say don't do interviews during open cases. A lot of times people think that the reason why people are saying don't do interviews during open cases is, I don't know, people just whatever you want. But there are reasons why people say don't do interviews during open cases. And I think Troy Ave, an individual where Taxstone being found guilty of his crimes, is going to benefit Troy Ave. I think him doing some of these interviews actually hurt him, and it's not going to be to his benefit. Well, let's. I don't like the way all of this is going over here. Which okay. So we're gonna be doing all of these tokens over here. First thing I'm gonna do is I want to give a shout out to everybody that pulled up into the chat already. Shout out to Ganju Roach. Salute. He says peace Frost. What up, Fox 5? We got Fox 5 in the house. He said team healthy. Salute, my brother. Hope everything is going well with you and yours. Shout out to Darkwing. We got Darkwing in here. He's dropping all of those floors. Who else we got up in here this today? We got Nick the Slick also dropping some floors. Shout out to Nolans. What up? We got Arthur D Glass in here. Salute. I'm very happy. I got some admins in here this morning. Shout out to Micah Records. He says good morning. Okay, so where did I put that book? 1 second. We're gonna have a conversation about what has already been said. And we're gonna also go over what the prosecution is basically saying that happened. And I just want to be clear on this. This is no disrespect to nobody. Before we get into this, obviously I'm going to talk for about 5-10 minutes about other things, or about shit in the peripheral. I'm going to say something real quick. Some people are saying Troy Ave is a snitch. I want to know what you guys think. Put it in the chat. And I want to be clear on this. We label people a snitch if you a street dude and you talking to the police. As far as I can tell, before this situation happened, Troy Ave carried himself as a street dude. I don't think, this is just me talking, y'all can put it in the chat if I'm wrong, but I don't think that you could call yourself a street dude until street shit happens and then say, I'm a civilian. I don't know if you can do that. I don't know how that works. So I understand why there is so many people that is busy saying Troy Ave is a snitch. And I would like for you guys to comment on that in the comment section during this show as we're having this conversation. Because one of the reasons why people say that you cannot do interviews during an open case is because the only reason to do an interview during an open case is to say your side of the story publicly. And saying your side of the story publicly whenever you're implicating somebody else in this day and age is seen as snitching. So I want to know what you guys think about it. I want y'all to put it into the chat. Also, once again, I don't have any affinity towards one side or the other. I'm not here in favor of a guilty verdict. I'm not here in favor of a not guilty verdict. I'm not here in favor of any of those things. I'm covering this trial because our community, you guys, want this trial covered, and by appropriately. Not like what they did with the Tory Lanez. I'm not trying to knock nobody. I'm just stating facts. Not by the coverage that was given to Tory Lanez. That coverage that was done on the Tory Lanez trial, obviously, that was not good. There's only two times, or there's only one time that I can remember a hip-hop trial going on, and our people covered it well. And the only trial that I know that happened in is the Tekashi trial. And that was us, the BBN Network. If there was another trial that was covered by our people, and it was covered well, and it was for our people and about our people, put it in the chat, because I don't know of another channel that has covered trials as well as we have covered trials. And you guys are 100% a part of that. It's not just something that I'm doing. I'm going to court. I'm getting the information. I'm writing the things down. But you guys, when y'all come up in here and y'all become part of the commentary, when y'all become part of the conversation, better yet, you guys are doing just as much of the work, not just as much as the work, but you guys are doing a portion of the work that is absolutely appreciated. And all I want to say is I love you guys. Thank you very much for pulling up into the chat. Thank you very much for your comments. This goes outside of any actual support that anybody has ever done. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for being a part of what we're doing over here. I'm going to say this, and I don't know no other way to put this, because you guys are over here doing the job that you guys are doing by supporting with comments and by listening actively. I'm not talking about the people who don't actively listen. By listening actively and then responding back appropriately, you guys are doing so much good help towards what I do. So I definitely appreciate you. If you guys wasn't doing that, I would have to be. Yeah, my opinion don't mean anything. Shout out to the guy that his name is My Opinion Don't Mean Shit. And then you asked me a question. You said my opinion don't mean shit. Then you asked me a question. So I'm not going to answer your question. Copy? Anyway, in any regards, I got to get ready to kick that guy in a minute. Don't kick him yet. Don't kick him yet. Wait for him to say the next thing that don't make no sense, and then we're going to kick him. Don't kick him yet. Remember, he's about to insult us any minute now. Oh, well, you wrote your opinion don't mean shit. So I don't know if I should respond back. I'm just saying. That's kind of... I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I don't know if I should respond back. No disrespect. I told my guys not to kick you. You are willing to comment and everything else. Maybe you get into a conversation with somebody else, and then that will elicit a response from me. Shout out to Casino. He says, good morning. What's up? He says, that's called, he was always faking his true colors, in response to Troy Ave now deciding that he is a civilian when previously that wasn't his particular mantra. Now, I'm not saying he isn't a civilian. I'm not saying any of that. I'm not coming for Troy Ave. But in all fairness, we have to discuss this from both angles. We have spoken extensively how Taxstone has put himself in this situation. We have a ton of different videos. A ton of different videos about how Troy Ave about how Taxstone has created this situation for himself due to the social media interactions where he was a part of. So if we're going to hold Taxstone's feet to the fire, we also have to do the same thing for Troy Ave. Is that fair? If you think that's fair, drop some frost in the chat. That dude with the disrespectful name, well, how are you going to have such thin skin? How is your name going to be your opinion don't matter? And then you're going to come in here asking me a question. And then when I say I don't want to answer your question because of your name, why are you going to have such thin skin? Like, how you going to have such thin skin and you a troll? Like, how y'all doing this nowadays? Dudes, hold on. Let's stop everything. Dudes be entire trolls. All they do is come on social media to troll. Their name will be obvious trolling. How? Can somebody explain this to me? How? Ganju says, I'm curious if Tax has time served if he beats this case. I believe, I'm not 100% sure what he got on the gun conviction, right? On his, when he pled guilty to the gun charge. So I'm going to ask his lawyers, next time I get into court, I'll ask his lawyers. I'm not 100% sure, but he got locked up in what, 2017, 18, 19, 20, 21, 23. So this is 5 years almost, or whatever the case is. I'm not sure if he got 5 years or more. I do know that for all of, there's 3 guns involved in the when Troy Ave car got, they found 3 guns in it. And I know Troy Ave is facing 15 years for each gun. So I don't know if he's going to have time served, but I will ask his attorneys. Or just any of the attorneys. I assume all of the attorneys on this case knows it. That's just funny though. How you gonna be a whole troll and your skin is so thin? Like your skin is transparent, homie. Like how you gonna have a whole troll name and your skin is your skin is like a vapor. Your skin is vapor. You got a whole troll name. Come on, man. Like, come on, man. This is how we doing it, fam. You playing the victim, fam. You a troll and you playing the victim, fam. Hit that like button, by the way. We about to get it pappins. All right, so a couple of things I want to say real quick. Also, I told y'all that I will be going to the Fetty Wap sentencing. I'm hearing that the sentencing has been pushed back. So thankfully so, because if the sentencing was happening in the middle of this trial, I don't know how I would have been able to do it. But the sentencing has been pushed back, I heard. So there's a good chance that it won't overlap with what we're doing over here. Remember, we're trying to find another trial to get involved in after this trial is over. We're trying to find another trial to get involved in. And we'll see how that works out. But the sentencing has been pushed back for Fetty Wap. Just thought I mentioned that for y'all. Found that out the other day. This shit is crazy. These dudes have the whole trolls and they just, your skin is vapors. Niggas be like, yo, I'm gonna go in there. I got a whole troll name and I'm gonna be disrespectful. And then the guy that's the, you know, avatar for whatever the channel is says, yo, you got a whole troll name. I don't really want to talk to you. I'm gonna see how you communicate with the other people. Oh man, my feelings is hurt. My feelings is all of the hurt. How, fam? Nobody got time for this. Anyway, Troy Ave goes on Math Hoffa. Drop some frost. I want to know who's seen the Math Hoffa interview. Give me 1 second. I want to know who's seen the Math Hoffa interview. Who's seen the Math Hoffa interview with Troy Ave? I want y'all to put your opinions in the chat. I would like to have a discussion with you guys about the Math Hoffa interview before we go over the things that might have corresponded or not corresponded with what he said during that interview and during other conversations that don't necessarily correspond with what's currently happening in court. The defense said something that was pretty interesting. The dissent, I'm being emotional. I told you, these dudes, hold on, can we just stop everything? I just want to mention this real quick. These trolls aren't really, you see it for yourself. What else could I say? The nigga's name, pardon me, the person's name is, your opinion don't mean crap, right? That's the person's name? So my opinion don't mean crap. Why do you care? Why are you asking me questions? What in the hell, fam? Also, I think you're projecting because I'm not emotional. Stop projecting onto me. What the hell, fam? Ganju Roach says, you think they bring up the fact that Benga put hands on I don't know how to say that guy's name by the way. At SOBs to make Troy side look bad. I think both sides have looked pretty childish in just so we can be clear. I think both sides have done things that they looking pretty childish and they look bad. I think both sides. There's things that you could accentuate where they are obviously conducting themselves in a manner that in society we don't deem it to be respectable. I need for y'all guys to understand all this street shit that y'all love, that's not necessarily respectable in normal society. You understand? I get it that people want to make it seem like, oh, I'm a real street nigga, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But that's not really respectable in society, because where somebody might say, I can understand you're in the struggle and you're doing everything that you could do to get up. Now you guys got money, you got status. You're not gonna get evicted out of your house. You're not gonna get your car repoed. You understand? You're not in a situation where you can't feed yourself. You're not in none of these situations. So you can elevate yourself, but you're choosing not to. That's not really respectable, with all due respect. So the best example I could give right now is Ja Morant. Ja Morant was never no street dude. He gets to the NBA. He's in Memphis. Now he has some money. He wants to go hang out at the clubs. So now he's trying to act like he's some super tough street guy. But he was never no nigga in the street. I'm going to put you on the game. Real street niggas don't want to be in the street. We thought of that at the same time. Shout out to KJ from the mob. Real street niggas don't want to be in the street. They're trying to get out of the street. I want y'all to go watch so many of these movies that deal with street shit. These guys are trying to get out of the street. This is my last job. How many times do we hear that in these movies? So niggas in real life is like that also. The ones that got a brain, they're trying to get out of the street. They're not trying to be in the street forever, because you can't be in the street forever. You get it? I don't even know how y'all trust niggas that can get out of the street and don't. I would immediately think that that guy worked for the police. And the reason why he's not getting out of the street is because he can't. Because that's his job. That's what I would immediately think. That's just me speaking. You could do whatever you want with it. But when you got these individuals that they have the ability to get out of the street, but they choose not to, I assume they work for the feds or they got work for the cops in some capacity. So they can't get out of the street, because if they don't go do their job, they're going to go to jail. That's what I assume. If you think what happened with Larry Davis is going the way of the dinosaurs, it hasn't. What they did was they just legitimized it on the police side of things. You understand? They just legitimized it. That's all they did. And for everybody that don't know what I mean by that, Larry Davis was working for local police, killing drug dealers and robbing them. He was out there doing that thing at like 16 years old. When we see pictures of Larry Davis, we might think he in his 20s because he looked old as shit. He was like 16 years old, 15, 16, 17 years old, out there being a hitman for the police. And I'm going to keep it a stack with you. I personally know people that was that age out there doing that exact thing for the police. Okay? So, yeah, he was selling drugs for the police. Not the whole entire force. It was just some crooked police officers. They switched that around, legitimized it. So now they have these dudes in your communities. You looking at them like, yo, why they still here? The reason why they're still there is because they work for the police. That's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Some of them just can't get out because they just don't got the mentality. So don't think every single one of them. I'm just saying that this is a thing that is a thing. Some of them just don't got the mentality. Some of them don't want to leave the street. Some of them, that's always just been their dream. Now, some guys is like, I want to go to the NBA. Some dudes are just like, I want to stand on the corner. It is what it is. That's like you got women out there that they're beautiful enough, smart enough, capable enough to just go be a wife. But instead, they'd rather be a whore. They'd rather have guys trick on them. They don't want a husband. They're capable, but they don't want a husband. They don't want to have kids. They don't want to build a family. They want to go sleep around until they can't sleep around no more, until nobody don't want them. And then they're going to go try to settle down. It's the same damn thing. These dudes stay in the hood as long as they can until a bigger, badder person come up, until they the Avon Barksdales of the world, until the bigger, badder mofo come up. Now they trying to figure out how they going to be Stringer Bell and get the hell up out of this shit. That happens. I forgot who the other guy was. Who was the other dude that came up and fucked they shit up? Put it in the chat. Part of my language. Put it in the chat. Ganju Roach says, my lawyer said he sees about 80% of the street dudes tell. These dudes be telling left and right. I've been telling y'all that for the longest. These dudes are telling left and right. If you understand that these guys are doing crimes that they should be getting locked up for 25 years and better, and they getting 5 years on a plea deal. They getting 10 years on a plea deal. They're doing crimes where they should be locked up for 30 years and better. And they getting 5 and 10 years on a plea deal? How? And then by the time 5 and 10 years is up, especially after 10 years is up, people forgot all about it. They like, yo, you lucked out, son. No, he ain't lucked out. He was flapping them gums. Tell me where the lie at. I think I have proven that for a YouTube content creator that does not have a law degree, I have been more accurate and know more about the actual law and what's happening in the courtrooms than any other YouTube content creator that does not have a law degree. I think I have proven it. Shout out to the Most High. You see me turning my cup around because I don't like drinking from the same spot. I don't got no sense. Any regard, let's talk about Math Hoffa, Troy Ave. I want everybody that saw the Math Hoffa, Troy Ave interview, put something down there that you would like to discuss. Now, I'm going to discuss what I want to discuss because I gave y'all enough time and nobody put nothing. First thing I want to say, this is about the Math Hoffa, Troy Ave interview. And just so we can be clear, for anybody that's like, yo, man, this guy, he's on Taxstone side. I've been dragging Taxstone for his bad freaking behavior for months. Now it's time to talk about the other side and what they could have done different. Okay? I'm going to have more shit to say about what's going on with Taxstone, ain't I? But this has to be fair and impartial and unbiased. That dude went on Math Hoffa's show. Now, Math Hoffa, he's a rap guy. I think that he should stick to interviewing people on rap shit. That's my opinion. I think that he messed the case up against Taxstone. I think that he helped Taxstone. I had somebody say that the reason why he had Troy Ave come on the show and talk crazy like that is because he don't like Tax either. He got a beef with Tax. Well, I'm going to say this much, Mr. Hoffa. No disrespect intended. But what you actually did was you helped the defense. That period. You had a person come on the show and say things alluding to the case that now already did not line up with what they said in the actual courtroom. So what are you going to do when the defense, if they decide to do this, bring out your interview, play your interview in court, and play the aspects of that interview that don't line up with what was said in the courtroom already? What are you going to do? Y'all going to say, yo, Jack Frost was smart for not having Troy Ave on his show, right? Jack Frost really is unbiased because he didn't allow Troy Ave to come on his show, throw shots at all of these other people because they didn't have an opportunity to respond. And also, his shots was going to eventually be used in favor of the person that he is accused or that he's going to be testifying against. Think about that for a moment. Now I'm going to tell you a couple of things that he said that 100% don't line up with the video footage. Troy Ave and his people were there first. First of all, the other dudes that was with Troy Ave that ran on him, when Troy Ave was eating, y'all was eating. Troy Ave was feeding y'all from his plate. If y'all don't run, maybe nobody don't die. If y'all don't run, maybe nobody don't get shot. Maybe Taxstone gets beat up, and upon Taxstone getting beat up, maybe he didn't take y'all to court. I don't know. But everybody's alive. If y'all was as real as y'all pertain to be, am I using that word appropriately? I wanted to say pretend, by the way, just so we could be clear. Okay, so that's an appendage. All right, so as y'all pretend to be, for everybody that want to know what pertain is to, it's a verb. Be appropriate, be applicable, related. I don't know. In law, belong to something as a part of, an appendage or an accessory. Be in effect or existence in a specified place at a specified time. I don't know. I might have stretched the meaning a little. So I'm going to say that pretend to be. Maybe everybody here. Y'all ran on him as soon as shit got thick. But when he was feeding everybody, when he had that big ass ladle putting it on your plate, y'all was eating. Just so we can be clear. And if, just for argument's sake, if Troy Ave really ain't real, like everybody is saying he wasn't real, like some people are saying he wasn't real, that means that y'all was there for one purpose and one purpose only. Don't let that go over your head. If y'all don't run on him, Benga probably still here. Taxstone probably beat up, hurt, maybe get his gun stolen. But everybody's still alive. Now I'm going to say this. Knowing how to properly move isn't knowing how to have one up on your enemy. It's knowing when to be assertive and when not to be assertive. It's knowing when to turn around and walk the other way. It's knowing and being capable of understanding the situations that you should and shouldn't get involved in. Now, there was a packed ass room. Somebody needed to have the sense to say, our man is on go. We got to keep him away from the person that he's on go against. Sometimes saving your man's life is preventing him from getting involved in the situation. I just want to say that. In any regard, Troy Ave says that they were in the room. This is what Troy Ave said. They was in the room. There's one way in, there's one way out. Taxstone was standing near the door. While Taxstone was standing near the door, he was talking mad smack, holding the gun, flashing it to everybody, talking about how he was going to do this and that. Guess what? It happened bang, bang. It happened bang, bang. It happened bang, bang. There wasn't no opportunity for him to be doing those things that he was accused of. I'll be right back. There wasn't an opportunity. The way Troy Ave initially described the situation, there wasn't an opportunity for him to have been out there talking trash, flashing a weapon. There just wasn't an opportunity. is why you don't do interviews unless you have media training or unless you're going to do an interview with somebody who's going to step you through the process. This is why when I do interviews with people, we do a pre-interview. This is why. Y'all busy going and talking to people that don't only want nothing but clicks. Personally, I think everybody who is in favor of Taxstone coming home should be happy that Math Hoffa gave him that interview. Happy that Troy Ave got that interview with Math Hoffa. Y'all should be happy. Don't be mad at Hoffa. Stop it. Troy Ave went on that program and helped Tax. Because if he went on that program and said anything that could be disputed in the video evidence, if he went on that program and said anything that is contrary to what the prosecution is saying, anything, that brings all of his testimony into question. You do know this, right? You do know how this works. Y'all know how this works, right? I'm not even going to tell you the people that I could have had interviews with, but I told them that if they came on my program, there's certain things that they couldn't say, so they just didn't give me the interview. Jack is on a different time. I'm on a different time. Yeah, they're going to let me do the thing? What the heck, fam? Oh, sheesh. I'm on a different time. I have to interview you to see if I'm going to interview you. I'm on a different time. I don't even know how to explain this. I had people that wanted to come on my program and say things that was going to mess up cases. They didn't know they were going to mess up cases. They just wanted to get their thing out. And I told them no in hopes of saving them from making a mistake. Some of them went on to go make mistakes. Some of them didn't. "38 minutes in, I'm just now opening up the damn book. Part of my language. We're going to go to day 2 of the trial. Just so we can be clear, we're going to start on day 2 of the trial. There's a couple of things that I want to go over. Is it day 2? Hold on. Because I want to, there is a specific individual that said a thing that I want to respond to. Oh, wait, hold on. Before we even do that. Somebody said that's why it's best. Oh, hold on. I'm gonna give you the whole back and forth real quick, just so you can understand just how slow people are. Don't be slow. All right. When you don't know something, it's not a problem with trying to find out. You understand? There's a reason why I stop every so often and ask you guys what your opinions are. All right. There's a reason why. It's because I don't know everything. but I do have facts. But I don't know everything. But I do have facts. So somebody wrote, bro, you got to give straight to the point. Give us here what we came for. We're not here for all that extra. And I just want to say something real quick. When I get straight to the point, it seems like then I have to double back and ask and answer a million questions. Because you might want me to get straight to the point, but you don't know what straight to the point might be. So there are quite a few people that complain that I don't get straight to the point, and then I got to double back and answer a million questions. And now everybody is confused because I went through it too quickly, just so we can be clear. So what you might not think is getting straight to the point is getting straight to the point. You ever read a book, but you decide that you're just going to read the last chapter? Exactly. I'm not just giving y'all the last chapter. I'm explaining why the last chapter is important. I am getting straight to the point. That's the first thing I want to say. Shout out to Dante Teasy, which is apparently a female's pick. I don't get it, but shout out to that shit. So I want to respond to Janice Spence. I just kicked her from the channel because I ain't got time for this. She says, this is why it's best to get your facts from qualified journalists, not YouTubers. Well, I went to school for journalism. And there are many people that did not go to school for journalism that actually work at established organizations. So are you saying that because I'm black? Are you saying that because I don't work at an organization or an establishment that could be bought? Because if you don't think that some of these newspapers and some of these television stations have ulterior motives and are bought, then you don't understand what media is nowadays. So is your complaint that I'm not working for an establishment that's bought, or is your complaint that I'm black? Mrs. or Mr. Janice Spence. Like, you don't never know what's going on nowadays. I wanted to respond to that, if you didn't mind. Shout out to I Am King LLC. Says, sup, Frost, how you feeling today, brother? Salute. BB and Jack Frost. Here. Let's go. He says, you want him to get right to the point, get right to that like button. That's a fact. We got 86 people in here right now with 15 likes. I could take my time. There's only 15 people in here that think the content is good enough to hit the like button. I could take my time. Couple of things that I want to go over. You said you're from Paris? Salute to Paris. Couple of things I want to go over real quick. Troy Ave Math Hoffa. And he disrespected a ton of people. Right? What do you think is going to happen when he gets on that stand? What do you think is going to happen when he gets on that stand? What do you think is going to happen when he gets on that stand? Now, I don't know if that Math Hoffa interview has been entered into evidence or not. I don't know if they're going to bring up the interview at all. I don't know if they're going to bring up any of the times that Troy Ave has went on social media and disrespected them people. But I tell you what, if they do, there's a good chance that all of those comments that Troy Ave has made is in actuality going to help Taxstone. Taxstone is currently locked up in jail. He's on trial. Troy Ave is out there speaking about the case publicly on different platforms in order to acquire support and or sympathy for the movement. Somebody was like, yo, Do they got any young people on the stand? The young people would have saw Math Hoffa's interview. The young people would have saw all of the times that Troy Ave went on social media and was talking crazy. It's in the defense's best interest to have no young people in the jury pool. Do you understand why that question was so stupid the other day? Or why the individual that kept saying, yo, why don't they have young people? Is the people old? And I'm like, none of that shit matter. Do you understand? So you want to have people on the stand, on the jury, pardon me, you want to have people on the jury that's been following this case, or you want to have people on the jury that haven't been following this case? RR says, you so one-sided, it's not even funny. So was I one-sided when I was talking about Taxstone crazy? The other day when I was saying Taxstone created this whole situation, was I one-sided that day? So today I'm saying things that you don't like. Was I one-sided the day that I said that Taxstone was stalking Troy Ave? Was I one-sided that day? I'm asking, answer. Was I one-sided the day where I said that Taxstone might want to have sex with Troy Ave because of how much he's stalking him? Was I one-sided that day? Answer, don't kick him yet. Answer, answer. Was I one-sided the day where I said that Taxstone shouldn't even have went to the event because he knew that Troy Ave was performing? Was I one-sided that day? Answer, Or are you just going to be on some sucker shit? You're going to come in here and say a thing, then when I respond to you, you're going to stay quiet because you're wrong. You're going to do the woman thing and not apologize? You think I talk more crazy about Troy Ave than I talk crazy about Tax? I think I talk more crazy about the people that was with Troy Ave, that abandoned the whole situation, that allowed the situation to happen. That's what I think. I literally said that Taxstone was stalking Troy Ave like he wanted to have sex with him. And you think that I'm talking more crazy about Troy Ave than Taxstone? Who in here think RR is off his rocker? Drop some frost down here. Anybody that think, drop some frost. Wait, don't kick him. Don't kick him yet. Oh, D Glass just kicked him. I want him to respond. Don't kick him yet. Unkick him. Bring him back. Bring him back. I want him to respond. He's not being disrespectful. The other dude was being disrespectful. Kick that rat bastard. But he's not being disrespectful. Let him respond. Let him respond. So you come in here on this day only, hear what I'm saying on this day, and so you pissed off. Oh, you put him on a timeout? Nah, I want him to respond. I want him to respond. Nah, I don't want to kick him. I want him to respond. He's not saying any, that's good conversation. I want him to respond. He's not being disrespectful. He's just wrong. Also, I think I was pretty clear when I said that Taxstone, the prosecution won the first 2 days of trial. I think I was pretty clear on that. When I was in here the first 2 days of trial talking about how the prosecution won those days, I was also going in on Troy Ave. Or are you just in your feelings? Did you read the title of this video? Or are you just in your feelings? I wish you ain't time him out. I really want dude to respond back. He didn't say or do anything. Thank you for timing the other rat bastard out. And I understand you only did whatever you did to him because you kicked the other rat bastard who deserved to get kicked. The other dude deserved to get kicked. All the way, 100%. So I do understand that he just got, that was collateral damage. I understand. He gonna have to wait a second until he can respond because you put on the timeout. You could unhide him. You could hide him and then unhide him, and his timeout will be over. And for the person that's saying I'm saying the same thing as previously, I don't think I talked about the Math Hoffa interview before. I don't think I talked about the implications of the Math Hoffa interview before. So I'm not saying the same thing that I said on previous days. I think we just mentioned the Math Hoffa interview before. Oh, they not here? Neither one of them? Hide that first rat bastard. That other dude that's talking about, matter of fact, that Randall Stunningham guy, you could do whatever you want with him. Give him another chance if you want, but you can do whatever you want with him. I'm discussing what happened in court. If they don't have a court proceeding on Friday, and they don't have a court proceeding on Saturday, and today's Sunday, what new thing am I supposed to be talking about except for giving context to what we've already been speaking on? You want me to just make shit up out of clear air, don't you? You want me to do the irresponsible thing so you can say I'm not a journalist, right? I get it. If you got a question, why don't you ask a question? You could do that also, right? But you don't have a question. So if you don't have a question, how am I saying the same thing over and over again? You don't even understand what I'm talking about. See, this guy gets kicked. Boom. See? Has anybody heard me talk about the Math Hoffa Troy Ave interview? Because I know I haven't, by the way. Has anybody heard me talk about that? Because that's what we're discussing today. Okay, that's what I thought. Y'all didn't hear me talk about that, so I can't be talking about the same thing I talked about the other day. Exactly. Anybody that come in here and lie and say that I was talking about anything previously that I wasn't, just kick them right off the rip. We're not even talking to them. We're not having a conversation with them. They could quite easily come in here and ask me a question. But since they're not equipped to be able to ask a question and also not equipped to be able to listen, then we don't care what's going on with them. With all fairness. They're just here because Satan sent them to cause the confusion. Satan is the author of confusion. Let's say the word for the day. Did they send me a word for the day? They sent me a word for the day. I could read the line that they sent me. I'm curious as to what it is. Verse of the day is Matthews 18. Matthews verse 18, line 20. For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there I am with them. Y'all all with the Most High right now, because I'm gathered in the Most High's name at all times, and I at least got 2 or 3 people in the chat that's also here gathered in the Most High's name. So the Most High is with us right now. Shout out to that. All praise due to the Most High. The Most High is here right now. Conduct yourself appropriately. Do y'all understand what these guys want me to do? They want me to make things up out of clear air instead of tell y'all what was happening in court. Wow, also, there's a ton of shit that happened in court that I didn't even tell you. And y'all say I'm not a journalist, and I refuse to talk about things that didn't actually happen. How am I not a journalist? There is something I wanted to bring up, though. Shout out to Champagne Poppy. Says, so Taxstone get off course of the interview. No, I'm not saying that at all. Please don't put words in my mouth. I'm saying, once again, I said this previously also. I don't know if they're even going to use the interview in court, just so we can be clear. I don't even know if they're going to be using the interview in court. What I am saying is that one of the reasons why you do not talk about a trial that is going on as it's going on, if you are a part of that trial, that is. If you're not a part of the trial, you can say whatever the hell you want. But if you're a part of the trial, the things that you say outside of court can be brought into court as evidence. That's what I'm saying. And I'm also saying some of the things that he said on Math Hoffa can definitely not. Partly the defense is saying that Troy Ave is the catalyst for the situation, right? That's partly what the defense is saying. Troy Ave is the catalyst for the situation. Taxstone is currently locked up in jail, and Troy Ave is still out here keeping the beef alive by going on different platforms and talking shit about him. If you don't get it, you don't get it. I'm going to say that again. I'm going to go tell you directly what they said in the opening statement, if you don't, just so we can be clear. All right? In the opening statement, the defense team said Taxstone was popular, Troy Ave was unpopular, Tax got artist signed, Troy didn't like that Tax was more popular. So basically they're saying that Troy Ave actually started the beef that him and Taxstone had or kept it going. So now Taxstone is locked up and he's in jail where he has no access to anything to go at Troy Ave. Listen, he's currently locked up in jail where he does not have any access to go at Troy Ave. Right? Troy Ave is still free doing all of the things. Troy Ave is still free doing all of the things that the defense is accusing him of doing that created the situation. How are they going to say that Taxstone initiated, because this is the thing they're saying, Taxstone initiated the situation that happened at Irving Plaza when Troy Ave is still out here keeping it going? Do you understand? I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just speaking from a perspective. Now, with that also being said, the prosecution is saying, go back to the opening statements. The prosecution is saying that Taxstone rushed past security with the weapon, which he did. After Taxstone was there for about 30 minutes, Troy arrived. Troy was invited. Troy Ave went through the proper way, got patted down. Tax allegedly asked Troy Ave, what's poppin'? And then he reached for a gun. Then the prosecution is saying, so hold on. So that's how the situation initiated. So the prosecution is saying Taxstone initiated the situation because of a long-standing disagreement that he started and he kept going between him and Troy Ave. And the defense is saying that Troy Ave actually was the one that not only initiated the beef that they had, but also initiated the situation that happened inside of the venue. Now, Taxstone is locked up and in jail, and he is not currently keeping anything going. Troy Ave is constantly keeping everything going. Now, the fact that Troy Ave did the interview wasn't the problem. Listen, the fact that, in my belief, the fact that Troy Ave did the interview wasn't the problem. The problem is how he did the interview. He was belligerent. He was very angry. He was insulting. All of those things lend to the idea that all of this happened, and I'm not saying it did, just so we can be clear. I'm just saying that the defense can make an argument that all of this happened for that specific reason. Do you get what I'm saying? That's what the defense can make the argument of. If you can understand what I'm saying. So it's not that he did the interview, it's the manner in which the interview was conducted, in the manner in which he did the interview. Now, if you can't understand that, I don't know what to tell you. Because if he does that same exact interview and he's calm and he's actually answering questions instead of, this is why you answer questions. This is why you do not do interviews like Tekashi 6ix9ine does interviews. This is why you allow the person to ask a question and then you answer the question. Because if you're just speaking and you're just commenting and you're just doing commentary, you change the context of what you're saying. Now you're saying what you're saying out of your own volition. You're not saying what you're saying because you're answering a question. That's the difference between when Jay Prince was on Wally and Gillo show, in contrast when Tekashi 6ix9ine went and did an interview with the Shade Room. He didn't really do an interview. He just went on the Shade Room's platform to talk. There's a difference. Din says he already got a deal, so maybe he looks at it like nothing else could happen. He got a 5K1 deal. He's going to have to go on the stand and do what he's agreed to do in the eyes of the prosecution. If he doesn't do what was agreed to do in the eyes of the prosecution, then they're not going to give him the letter. Din says he could talk all he wants as long as he doesn't say anything incriminating. But the point that I'm trying to make is the way in which he was speaking, the energy in which he had was already incriminating. You understand? And if he says anything at all that contradicts what the prosecution is saying, then I don't know if he could even live up to the 5K1 deal. If he's saying things in that interview that contradicts what the prosecution is saying, who he's supposed to go up there and perform for, I don't even know if that 5K1 deal is going to be honored, because he still has a responsibility. This is why you don't go do interviews with people who don't know the judicial system and how the law works. There's a reason why you go do an interview with someone that knows how the law works. So they don't allow for you to screw yourself over. You understand? We have went in on Taxstone like crazy. And I'm saying, look, I'm not arguing with you, Din. I'm just explaining. I think that, first of all, I think that what you're saying is good comments. All right, keep them coming. I think they're good comments. I'm not arguing with you. What I'm saying is because of, okay, so he has to be able to go up there and perform for the prosecution in order to get that 5K1 letter. There's a good chance that some of the things that he's done out here in the world leading up to the trial is putting him and them in a situation where he's not going to be able to perform the way in which they will want him to perform, because he's going to get on stand. And if he's been saying things that contradicts what they're saying in court, then how are they going to be able to get a conviction? So your star witness has been doing interviews where he's saying the opposite of what we're saying in actual court. Is anybody listening? I'm pretty sure a ton of people are listening and paying attention. But for the people who's BBN, for the BBN people, do y'all get what I'm saying? For everybody. But I want to see some comments down in the comment section. If you don't agree with me, don't agree. I mean, if you don't agree with me, put it down there. If you understand what I'm saying, put it down. Okay, I don't care if you agree with me or don't agree with me. If you understand what I'm saying, put it down in the chat. I want to know if you understand what I'm saying. Whether you agree with me or disagree with me is immaterial. Din says, I get exactly what you're saying, Jack. I'm just saying they could give a damn. If his interviews is hurting their case, that's going to make it difficult for them to be able to use him. That means that when they call him up to the stand, he might be a liability. And he wants a 5K1 letter, correct? Tell me where the lie at. He want a 5K1 letter, right? Tell me where the lie at. The reason why we're having this conversation, by the way, is because the other day when we was at the last live that we had, the previous live of the previous morning, I realized a couple of things. And the way this channel goes, maybe tonight we're going to talk about the things that Taxstone did that's going to hurt him. I talk about everything from both sides of the spectrum, period. How's he going to get a 5K if he is charged by the state? That don't even make sense. Do you understand what a 5K1 letter is? And you do know they already spoke about it in court, right? Like literally, hold on. No, you don't know what a 5K1 letter is because you just asked a stupid question. Not saying you're stupid. I'm just saying that question that you just asked doesn't make sense. You don't know enough about what you're talking about. You're just asking random questions. I'm not saying that you might be super intelligent. I do not know you as a person. So I'm going to go to the opening statement real quick so I can tell you what the prosecution says about whatever you're talking about, right? I mean, I can tell you what the defense said about whatever you're talking about. Because they've been talking about this in court. They done brought this up in court like almost every day, by the way. Before the actual trial started. This was something that they consistently talked about in court. And this is what I mean by people come here and ask me questions and they don't even know. The prosecution said that the federal cooperators are lying because they want 5K1 letters. So just so we can be clear, why would Troy Ave cooperate if he's not going to get anything on the other end? Could somebody explain that to me? So you're telling me Troy Ave is cooperating even though they're not offering him anything. He's just helping. He's like, yeah, I know y'all going to send me to jail forever, but I'm just going to help. Also, Troy Ave got a bond. He's not in jail. And just so you can understand the charges that he's facing, attempted murder, 25 years max. Oh, there's a max of 15 years for each gun. So I guess it's 5 to 15 for each gun. There's a max of 15 years for each gun, and there's 3 guns. There's also a 25-year max on attempt murder. Troy Ave isn't in jail. It don't matter. So you think, no. Hold on. Everybody else in here, just so we can be clear. This Moses Carter guy is basically saying, and I'm not gonna get stuck on this. We're gonna keep it pushing. This Moses Carter guy is saying that Troy Ave is helping the state for no reason whatsoever. But in court, the prosecution has already said that they are that they have witnesses that are going to help because they want leniency. And the defense has said the same thing. But this Moses Carter guy, he knows more than the defense. He also knows more than the prosecution. You're right, Moses Carter. You know what? You're 100% right. But we're going to talk about it the other way anyway, okay? So you don't got to talk to me about that no more. You're 100% right. There's nothing that you said is wrong. You probably never said anything incorrect in your life. You are the most knowledgeable person on the planet. So there's no reason for you to even go down that line of conversation with me no more. Copy? You're the most intelligent. There's nobody more intelligent than you, my brother. Now do y'all see why I just be right all the time? Because people be trying to bring up things that I have factual intel on while they're just talking about their opinions. And so they're going to then call me a know-it-all. I'm just saying facts. Shout out to Moses Carter, the most intelligent person to ever live. His IQ is 1 million. Where you at, Moses? You want to tell me about how I'm wrong some more? Also, somebody clip this, by the way. So after I'm proven to be right, we could replay this. So somebody clip this. So they're going to recommend 1 year in prison if he lives up to his agreement, by the way. The prosecution said this in open court. When the paperwork dropped, what are you going to do? When the paperwork becomes available and then Jack Frost is proven to be right, you ain't gonna apologize. You gonna act like you never said it. This is on the paperwork. When the court transcripts drop, he gonna act like he never said it. He gonna act like he gonna act the prosecution said that they're gonna recommend 1 year in prison if he lives up to the agreement. They said that at 11:42, by the way. They said that at 11:42, by the way. They said that at 11:42, by the way. Just want to be clear. At 11:42 a.m., they said, the prosecution said, that they're going to recommend 1 year in prison if he lives up to his agreement. And isn't that what everybody's been talking about? Because this is common knowledge. Haven't you seen people come into the chat and ask me about that 1 year? This is common knowledge. I'm not saying anything that we don't already know. How many times have y'all seen people come into the chat and say that? I'm not saying anything that we don't already know. Just so we can be clear, I'm not saying anything that we don't already know. This is common knowledge at this point. Also, you think if a person is facing 25 years for attempt murder, max, 15 years for each gun, max, and there's 3 guns, so that's 45 years, right? 15 times 3 is 45 or some shit like that. Now, you add 25 onto the 45, what's that? All right, so let's see, what did Troy Ave get bond? What's Troy Ave's bond real quick? All right, he was released on $500,000. All right, that sounds like enough bond for that right there, or no bond, or 0 bond. Just so we could be clear, or 0 bond, just so we could be clear. These guys is just so y'all can understand what's going on. Okay, so he's arguing semantics with me. That's what you're saying? They arguing semantics? You know why people argue semantics? Because they just want to argue. Thank you, Din Din. You don't have to have a federal charge to cooperate. That's why people argue semantics. Whenever somebody argues semantics, it's because you're basically right about the overall thing that you're saying. That's why they argue the way that you're saying it. It's like when somebody disrespects you and they don't like the way that you respond to that disrespect. They didn't tell you, you overreacted. They're arguing semantics. Not that I'm wrong. Semantics. Semantics. God says don't argue with fools. Shout out to the Most High. Semantics. No, they're arguing semantics. They're arguing semantics. They just want to argue. I already tell y'all, when people come in here to just argue with me, I'm just kicking them. If you got something worth talking about, we'll discuss it. But if you want to argue semantics, I'm just kicking you. We had enough fun laughing at the obviousness that these guys think Troy Ave is giving all of this help for no reason. Semantics. And yes, I have paperwork. Pardon me, not paperwork. I have literally in court. It's in, thank you, Din. Thank you, Din Din. Thank you very much, Din Din. I take notes. I don't know how other people take notes. I take notes. All right? I take notes. I don't know how anybody else is taking notes. I don't know what anybody else is doing. I don't know if anybody else knows what they're doing. But I take notes. I take notes. I don't know what anybody else is doing. I take notes. I don't know what anybody else is doing. It's me and one other person in the courtroom. And it's not that press guy. He ain't in the courtroom. I have not seen him in the courtroom one day. I take notes. I don't know what anybody else is doing. I take notes. So if you want to go get the coverage from somewhere else, fine. Copy? I'm cool with that. Notes. If you want to go get the coverage from somewhere else, I'm fine. What time is it? We still got minutes. Anything that y'all want to ask me specifically, for all the people that swear up and down that I only talk about one thing and I'm repeating myself, is there anything that you want to know? Do you have a question? I'm specifically asking the people that swear up and down that I repeat the same thing every day. Is there something that you want to know? Do you have a question? Because if you don't have a question, that means that I'm doing my job. You know. Do you even have a question? I'll give everybody an opportunity. Oh man, my knee. I'm gonna give everybody an opportunity to say something. For all the people that say I repeat the same thing every day, do you have an actual question? Anyone? Because if you don't have a question, that means that I'm doing my job well. You don't have a question. We don't know if Troy Ave is going to eventually do 1 year in jail with his deal. They have to recommend it if Troy Ave does the things that they want him to do in court. And what this video is about is, do Troy Ave even have the ability at this point, because of the things that he did during those interviews, specifically with Math Hoffa, to be able to do what the prosecution wants him to do in court? That's like the fourth or fifth time I explained that. You might not have been here when I explained that earlier. So the case is supposed to last up until the longest, March 31st. That's the longest it's supposed to last. It can't end before March 31st. No, it depends on the fluidity of the process. But they're expecting that the latest date for the end would be March 31st. That's the expectation of right now. Any questions? Because I'm hearing that I'm talking about the same thing apparently every day. So is there questions? Because if there isn't any questions, that means I'm doing an exemplary job. That's just a fact. Is there any questions? You can't say that I'm not doing a good job and then also not have any questions. Those things don't go together. Those things don't go together. Is there any questions? If there was a person kicked named 99 Opinions, oh, okay. No, I'm fine with you being a supporter of whoever, the opinions guy. I'm fine with you being a supporter of whoever. But when you come into a channel and you obviously have a troll account, and then I treat you, or you have the name like it's a troll account, and then I treat you like you a troll, don't get upset, especially when I didn't kick you. You understand? I didn't kick you, if I remember correctly. Did you get kicked? No, you didn't even get kicked. So I didn't kick you. You have the ability to stay in here and keep commenting. I didn't kick you. Now, if you're commenting things worth me responding back to, I'm going to respond back to you. But when you have a name saying F your opinion, that's going to make me feel like you're a troll account. If you're a troll account, I'm going to treat you like a troll account until you prove me otherwise. What is the prosecution side of what Tax did that night? Not a problem. We're going to go to the opening statement once again. Thank you for a very good question. Yeah, dudes be having whole troll accounts where you want to, like, I'm going to treat you like a troll account. I didn't kick you. I'm giving you the opportunity to be able to show that you're not a troll account. I mean, if you can't respect that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm fine with ad supporters being here. I'm fine with tax supporters being in here. Just don't try to trick my words and say I'm saying something I'm not saying, because I don't want to deal with nobody that does that. If I'm not being clear on something, please ask me to be more clear. So we're going to go over the opening statement once again from the prosecution so y'all can understand what they're accusing Taxstone of and what's going on with that, because that was the question, right? The defendant was at the murder scene for 5 seconds before everything popped off. That's what they're saying. The indictment accuses the defendant of murder 1. That's 125.25 subsection 1. The intent to cause death and commit murder. That's 110/125. I think that's another subsection, but I can't read it. Sorry about that. 15. 110/125/15. Also, he's being accused of intent to cause injury with a deadly weapon. He's being accused of that 3 times, I believe. 120.10 subsection 1. I believe it's 4 of those. He's being accused of that 4 times. He's also being accused of possession of a loaded firearm with intent to use. That's 265.30 subsection 1, subsection D. He's also being accused of having a firearm not in his home and or place of business. That's 265.03 subsection 3. Basically, what they're saying is is that Roland McFadder was the bodyguard of Troy Ave. Troy Ave is going to testify to that. Taxstone conducted a convict before and after. Wait. Take that out. Pardon me. The motives are, they saying that they collecting. Okay, you want me to, there's a whole bunch of stuff that's not what you just asked. I'm trying to not go through that. Darrell Campbell shot and killed Ronald McFadder. There's no video that was canvassed inside of the VIP, so there's no video cameras inside of the VIP. They're saying Troy Ave did sell drugs. That's not part of this. They're saying Taxstone, that is part of this, but not part of the question. They're saying Taxstone allegedly asked Troy Ave what's popping before the situation happened. They're saying while he was reaching for a gun, he said what's popping. They're saying that Taxed and Banger began to struggle. The gun went off. 3 shots, 6 seconds, cell phone footage. They're saying Troy grabbed Tax, fought for the gun. Banger fled the VIP room after being shot. Troy was still fighting for the gun. Troy was on the floor. Tax shot him. They're saying they continued to fight for the gun after that happened. Apparently, Troy Ave got up and kept fighting. They saying Troy bit Taxstone's neck and Taxstone bit Troy on the arm. They're saying Troy Ave hit Taxstone over the head with the gun at some point because he got a little bit of control over it. They're saying Troy gets the gun from Tax. Tax runs. They're saying, so that's what's being, Taxstone is being charged with. That's, I hope that answers your question. That's what Taxstone is being charged with. If he was drinking during these interviews and he conducts the video, how do you think it will play out when he gets on the stand? I don't know. I think that's not going to be, I don't think that's going to be. Okay, so they just had the dude, I forgot his name, the Murdoch guy that allegedly killed his wife and his son. No, they say he's convicted of it. He got life in prison without the possibility of parole. I don't think the courts care if you commit a crime while you're drunk or inebriated. I don't think the courts care. So I don't think the courts care when you go on a platform and you voice something that I don't think the courts care. So I don't think it matters if he was drinking on Math Hoffa. I don't think it matters if he was high, drunk, sober, whatever. I don't think none of that matters. Is that fair? Din said it's a pretty much closed case. Even if Troy doesn't testify, they have Tax DNA on the weapon. They have Tax DNA weapon. They have Troy DNA on the weapon. They have a third person. Taxstone has already admitted that that's his gun. He admitted that in federal court, that that's literally his firearm. So there's no question of whether whose firearm it is, just so we could be clear. There's zero question of that. So that isn't going to be a point of contention in this trial, whose firearm it was. The firearm was found in Troy Ave's possession, and Troy Ave actually is facing a possible 5 to 15 on that gun, just so we can be clear. If you are enjoying any aspect of the show, you could always pull up to the Cash App or the PayPal. Somebody put the Cash App in the chat. I think we're far enough in the show where we can mention the Cash App, right? We've been here for like an hour and a half. Somebody put the Cash App in the chat. If you are enjoying any aspect of the show, put it in the you can always pull up to the Cash App, the PayPal. If you're like, yo, I like this program. He's doing a halfway decent job. I'm entertained. Whatever the case might be. Bobby Light wants him free because he wants the he wants tax season to come back on. If Taxstone does beat these charges, I assume that his platform is gonna go through the ceiling. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know who's gonna deal with him. I don't know if there's gonna be any people that's gonna deal with him. But yeah, I'm gonna assume that his platform is gonna go through the ceiling. I don't know which big corporations is gonna deal with him right now. I don't have the slightest idea. I think a lot of people should sue Irving Plaza and whoever was running the security there. That's my opinion. I think every single person that got shot should be suing Irving Plaza. I think some of the people who almost got shot should be suing Irving Plaza. I think they should just be getting sued right and left out of the wazoo. I wouldn't be surprised if they're not sued to the point, especially after this trial. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised if them and or whoever was doing the security isn't sued into fucking, part of my language, isn't sued until they don't out of existence, until they go the way of the dinosaur. I wouldn't be surprised. There could be an argument made that how many other people was in the building with guns. There could also be an argument made that, Taxstone was allowed to come in without being checked because he's Taxstone. So now you got to look at it totally different. The video evidence might show different. And that's my point about the whole gun thing. I've met Troy Ave, and Troy Ave seems to me like a pretty cool guy, right? I don't know him, though. There is zero evidence of Taxstone with the gun, firing the gun. We know that he brought the gun into the venue, but there is zero evidence of him firing the gun. And the only person who is going to say allegedly, that's going to say that they saw him fire the gun is Troy Ave. Now do you understand why it's so important that Troy Ave did not do the Math Hoffa interview? At least did not do it in the manner in which he did it. He's the only one, allegedly, that saw Taxstone fire the gun. You need for his testimony to be unimpeachable. Don't tell me that this isn't the right conversation for us to be having today. Don't tell me I talk about the same thing every day. This is a conversation we should be having. His comment, it's of the utmost importance for the prosecution that his testimony is unimpeachable. Troy Ave should have not spoken publicly at all unless he was in a conversation with someone that was going to know how to ask questions and cut him off. You have no idea how important it is to the artists that you might be interviewing that sometimes you cut them off. Because mofos don't know what they should and shouldn't be saying. Bruce Banner said, Frost, that dude, who was that, Avon Bloxdale? It says that dude, Avon Blocko, was in the chat yesterday in the green room with Troy Ave. Who was that supposed to be, Avon Bloxdale? So he's one of the dudes that said he wasn't going to take the gun charge. Also, I want to add, I don't know how I feel about those guys not taking the gun charge for him, because if they take the gun charge for him, they got to do the time. Whereas right now, he's about to get on the stand, and if everything works out in his benefit, he's only going to do 1 year. So I don't know entirely how I feel about them not taking the charge. But I do think that the first thing you're always supposed to do when you and your peoples is about to get into some shit, you always have to have that guy there that's trying to not make it happen. You have to have those dudes in your circle. You have to have those dudes in your circle that's going to allow for it to be a shouting match. Those guys are important. Those guys keep people alive and keep people out of jail. You have to be rolling with dudes that they ready to go, but at the same time, they don't want to go. They don't want none of us to go. We supposed to be here to have a good time. We didn't show up for this. It's important to have those guys. Is that the dude that said he's going to show up in court on Monday? I don't know. There's some people that was like, yo, we're going to show up in court on Mondays. I don't know. Monday in the afternoon. We start around 2:30. So the only person that saw, or the only person that is going to testify that Taxstone fired the weapon is Troy Ave. His testimony needs to be unimpeachable. When he went on Math Hoffa and some of these other conversations that he's had on social media, he has quite possibly created a situation where now his testimony might not have the same leverage. Is that fair? Shout out to Portland, Oregon. Oh, not Portland, Oregon. Shout out to Portland. He says Jamaican in the building. Salute. Where everybody's from, put it in the chat. You understand what I'm saying, if that makes any sense? So, I'm going to say something. Hold on. So, basically, there's been aspects of the trial that I've been telling y'all. I don't understand why the prosecution was taking a foot off of the gas. Now that I'm thinking about it even a little bit more heavily, maybe the prosecution was taking their foot off of the gas on certain things or certain points because of Troy Ave and his propensity to keep talking about the trial outside of the escort, outside of legal counsel escorting him. For lack of a better term, do you know, if you know a person on YouTube that covers court cases, and I'm talking about us, that covers court cases better than Jack Frost, put their name in the chat. If you know one of us that covers court cases better than Jack Frost, put their name in the chat. Put their name in the chat. I'm about to do the reverse. What's this guy's name? The reverse Mr. Ravisons. Put their name in the chat. If you know somebody, because everybody criticized Jack all the time. But it seems like when we get to the end of the trial, I'm always, what I was saying was the right thing. Every damn time. So if you know somebody, one of us, that covers this court shit better than me, better than Frost, better than our community, because it's not just a me thing. It's the community. Shout out to the Most High. Put it in the chat. I'm here. I'm listening. Charisma says, you the only person I see cover this after each court date. There's only one other guy in the courtroom with me. One other person. There is no other media in the courtroom except for me and one other person. And it's not the old dude from Press Media. It's not him. Shout out to that guy. Shout out to that guy. He's busy arguing with the people from the UN all the time. He's mad at those guys. He be so pissed. Oh man, he be so pissed at those guys from the UN. He's interesting. He's interesting. He be so pissed at those guys from the UN. He be so pissed. He said, you the go to this in New York. I'm not just saying in New York. I'm saying anywhere in America. Which one of us, anywhere on YouTube, I don't even care if they're not in America, that cover court cases better than we do over here. I don't care where they from. Remember, when the Tekashi trial ended, almost every single thing that I said came to pass. Don't forget that part. Shout out to I know your name is different, right? Shout out to OJ. I'm gonna say OJ. Shout out to OJ with the $25 drop. Who's next? Support the platform. I'm out here really doing shit. I'm out here really doing shit. I don't know what nobody else is doing. I'm not criticizing nobody else's platform. I don't got time to talk shit about nobody. I'm doing my job. I don't want to get in no arguments with nobody. I don't want to go back and forth with nobody. That's not my type of time. Well, and when I don't even like going outside if I don't got a certain thing to go do. You understand? If I don't got a thing to go do, I stay home. I'm different. I like to be focused and locked in. Name them. Put the name up there. We got a ton of people that hate my guts. Name somebody like us. Name somebody like us that cover court cases better than we do over here. Shout out to Din Din. He says, no lie, I only come to the BBN for this type of stuff because I know I'll get an intellectual breakdown. I'm so sorry that my other stuff doesn't. Oh, that was Beard. Shout out to Beard with the $25 drop. He said, covering cases has been your strength in this media platform. It's how I came. My dude, tell me who. Shout out to Beard. That was Beard with the $25 drop. Tell me who covers this stuff better than us. Come on. That's why I don't hate on nobody. There's no reason for me to hate. The hell? Any more questions? There's zero reason for me to hate. For real, for real. Shout out to News Do Rap. He says, you broke that Snow Billy. I know you from that day. Also, go check out the Snow Billy interview and leave some comments. You trying to tell me? You trying to tell me that interview wasn't lit? Also, we got a new interview up with Lakim Shabazz. Go check that interview out. If you don't know who he is, he's from the Flavor Unit. If you don't know who that is, the Flavor Unit consists of people like Queen Latifah. The Flavor Unit consists of people like Naughty by Nature. Shout out to Jersey. Salute. Let's go. We doing things over here. What are you talking about? We got to find a case to cover after this one. All right? We got to find a case. Snow Billy came prepared. I came prepared. Me and Snow Billy, for everybody that don't know, I prepped. I didn't even know most of the shit that dude was going to say. I'm going to be clear on this. But I prepped him. And then we did the interview. He didn't just come up and start talking. Y'all guys don't even know how to prep your people to do the interview. Don't tell me what I'm doing. When you come do an interview over here, I give you media training. That's a fact. If you want your artists to know how to interview, you have them interview over here. I give them media training. I turn down interviews. I've had people call me up, want to do interviews, and I turn them down. So we're not doing that. I got standards, you hear? The behind the footage of what? The courtroom? They take our cameras over there. I can get my phone and then ask them questions outside of the courtroom. I'm thinking about recording some of the questions that I asked them outside of the courtroom. That's what I'm thinking about doing, because these attorneys on both sides are doing an incredible job. I do not want that. I want that to be clear. They're doing an incredible job. The prosecution and the defense team is doing an incredible job. The judge doing an incredible job. Everybody I've been in federal court, so I know who's doing a good job and not. These guys are top tier. Every single one of them is doing an incredible job. Oh, news from rap music in France? Hey, do you want me to interview some of them people from France? I'll interview some of them. You bring me some people in France to interview. They want to interview with some New York? They want to play their music on our channel? You bring me some people. What are you talking about? We're doing all of the things over here. I was in court. Somebody said, what do you do? Like they don't know what I do. I do everything. I'm Jack effing Frost. There's not a thing I don't do. The hell? I do everything that the Lord wants us to do, by the way. I'm going to add that part. Yeah. Come on. What the hell are you talking about? We got 107 people in here. Let's go. Hit that like button. Jack Frost, man. I do everything. And if I don't know how to do it, I can learn. That's a fact. Is there any more questions? I think I'm going to go shoot some hoops today. How it look outside? It looks like it might be warm. I think it's going to get up to 50 degrees. That's more than warm enough to go shoot some hoops. I think I'm going to shoot some damn hoops today. I'm pumped up. I'm amped up. When we have these type of shows, that make me want to do more shows. That make me want to keep the show going. If I would actually eat breakfast, I don't eat breakfast no more. I eat lunch and further on. The first meal is breakfast, period, because it's breaking your fast. But I try to eat breakfast later in the day now that I know about the health benefits. I don't want to eat as soon as I wake up no more. Stop eating as soon as you wake up. Don't do that. That's why we get fat and all that other shit going on. All right? Make sure that you awake for like an hour, like 2-3 hours before you eat. Health purposes. I haven't seen... Troy Ave isn't in court. On the day Troy Ave actually shows up to court is when I would expect for people to show up for Troy Ave. Trife Gangster shows up to court every day. And you could tell that he missed his brother. And his family shows up. All right? Taxstone's supporters show up every day. You know? And shout out to them because they've been getting taxed some nice gear to wear in front of the jury. I think they should go with the lighter colored clothes more than the darker colored clothes, because don't forget, subconsciously we see dark colored clothes as the villain. You understand? And we see lighter colored clothes as the hero. So I personally think they should keep them in the light colored clothes rather than the dark colored clothes. That's just me speaking. I don't know if he's going to be free or not. I have no idea. I think that both sides are doing a great job. If Troy Ave said that he's not taking the stand, I don't know how he's going to be able to get the government to then only give him, whether it's a 5K1 letter or not. They are correct when they said that that's a federal thing. But when I say 5K1 letter, you understand what I'm talking about. So I wasn't trying to be, I was trying to just say something in order for me not to have to keep explaining myself, just so we could be clear. So when I say 5K1 letter, we know that that's an agreement with the prosecution, period. You understand? While I say these semantics that people try to use don't make sense. I'm trying to speak in a manner so we could get through to the most people possible. He's trying to get for the prosecution, when his case comes around, to give him a favorable outcome. So I don't understand how he could get that favorable outcome if he doesn't take the trial, doesn't take the stand. Now, they said he's going to take the stand, just so we could be clear. I mean, just make sure that I'm remembering correctly, even though I'm certain I am. The prosecution literally explained, pardon me, that Malcolm Kinner, I think his name is, and Troy Ave will be taking the stand. The prosecution said this. I don't know what Troy Ave is talking about. Also, the defense said, the defense spoke on the Kinner guy more than anything else. But more than once, they said Troy is the only one that fired the gun. Troy is the only one that will say Tax fired the weapon. So the defense team, in my estimation, believes that Troy Ave is going to take the stand. And we can, when the transcript comes out, go to the opening statements. And in the opening statements, you will see that the defense said Troy is the only one that will say Tax fired the weapon. So I don't know what if Troy Ave said that. I didn't see the whole interview with Math Hoffa and Troy Ave. So if Troy Ave said that, I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to rewatch that interview. So if Troy Ave said that, I don't know what to tell you. The Black Brad Pitt said in the song, Troy Ave clearly said middle finger from the stand. And another, he said, facts. It wasn't me, it was Tax. And I do think middle finger from I do think that in a song he said that he was going to take the stand. That's a fact. Taxstone attorney has to play Math Hoffa interview in court. My dude, once again, I don't know if that's their plan. I have no idea if that's their plan. But that Math Hoffa interview is probably something Troy Ave should not have done if he wants his testimony to help him beat the charges that he's being accused of. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. He said Kenneth Montgomery is a beast. Both sides have been doing a good job. Both sides. Absolutely. Okay, so just like I told y'all before, something had happened and I was like, why didn't the defense jump on that? Remember I said that? I criticized both sides already. I criticized both sides. If something happens that's critical, I'm going to speak on it. I'm not being favored to one side or the other. There's a couple of things that the defense said that I have been critical of. Let's just be clear on this. There's a couple of things that the defense said that I have been critical of. Let's not act like that didn't happen. And there's things that the prosecution have said that I've also been critical of. Specifically with the defense, there was just, I thought the prosecution fucked up. Not messed up, but I thought there was an opening more than once where the defense should have could have taken advantage, and they didn't, right? And I thought that there was opportunities, or I think that the prosecution messed up also, and I told you where. So once again, those are my opinions as far as what I know about the law and what I currently know about the case. So I've criticized both sides. It's just that if a person favors tax, they don't hear the side where I'm criticizing Troy sometimes. And when a person favors Troy Ave's side, they don't, or Troy Ave Benga's side, because he lost his life. That's really whose side we on. When they or favor their side, they don't hear when I criticize Taxstone's team. So it's just people hear what they want to hear sometimes, and I can't be concerned with that, because if I'm concerned with that too much, I can't do my job. I need to be concerned with that enough to know that I have to be clear. Anything more than that, I can't be too much more concerned with all fairness. If you are enjoying any aspect of the show, we 2 hours in. If you're enjoying any aspect of the show, you can always pull up to the Cash App or the PayPal. Somebody drop the Cash App in the chat. I'm thinking about shooting some hoops today. Just, shoot around. Nothing too tough. Nothing too crazy. If people are out there, I'll play a game or two, but nothing too crazy. How can I know what really happened that night? I have no idea I wasn't there. I only know what they're saying in court. Eminem gets so much disrespect. Like, he's really a top tier rapper. He gets so much disrespect. He gets so much disrespect. 27 Mayor says Tax was the bully and he ran out. I am gonna say that there is evidence. I don't know if they're gonna use it as evidence, but there is on his podcast. I think Tax has called himself a bully more than once and said that he's bully. I think he literally said, "I'm gonna bully Troy Ave." I mean, I don't know if the prosecution could find that particular audio, but I do think more than once he literally said that he's bullying Troy Ave. So you're not saying anything wrong. And this is why you need to stop going on social media and doing some of the things that people are doing. You understand? Stop. That's why I refuse to be a platform where I'm trying to come up off of beefing with people. I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to come up off of beefing with you. I'm not trying to, but just saying that doesn't mean anything. The prosecution literally would have to find the audio. I don't know what to tell you. But that's why you can't have platforms like that. You understand? I keep trying to explain this to people. So this is another way I could put it. So Texas has a law about stalking, whereas on social media, if you're stalking somebody on social media and you're from Texas, they could come arrest you. I believe it's a felony. This is real talk. So I think there needs to be laws like that everywhere. You understand? I think in America, we should just have laws about stalking on the internet, just in general. Because some people not here for the bullshit. Some people is just trying to live their lives. They not here for all the hate. We don't want to dance with the devil in the pale moonlight. We don't want to play around with Satan. You understand? Other people want to play around with Satan. Give them that ability to go play with Satan. Not everybody want to play with Satan. Not everybody want to deal with Satan. I don't want to deal with Satan. I don't want to be friends with Satan. I don't want Satan to help me. I'm not trying to get any reward. I don't want none of that. So I don't want to deal with Satan. I just don't. But I get it that there are people that they like Satan to be, they like to be around Satan. They like getting on the internet and talking crazy about other people, getting on the internet lying, getting on the internet doing this, getting on the internet doing that. I get it. I 100% get it. But there should be protections for the people who don't want to play with Satan. There should be protections for the people who don't want to get involved in any of this stuff. You understand? There should be protections. And this is not nothing I haven't been saying for the longest. That's just my point. That's all I'm saying. There's people that wanna. There's people that wanna go and give they souls to Satan. I'm not one of them. There's people that they don't believe that they have anything of value in their life that they could do for the world, except for be of assistance to Satan. I don't want to be a part of that. Shoosh. What's that word we got sent from the Lord today? Matthew verse 18, line 20. For where 2 or 3 gather in my name, there I am with them. Amen. Shout out to the Most High. Whenever there's 2 or 3 people gathered, speaking power from the Most High into the world, he's there with us. Why would I want to have Satan around me if I want the Lord to be around me? That don't make sense. None of us are perfect. We all fall short. But we're supposed to get up and still attempt. Do our best. You know? Your best might be different from my best, which might be different from that person's best. But we're supposed to do our best. With that being said, I'm going to get to this lunch. And then I think I don't know, I'm going to walk outside. We're going to see how warm it is outside. It looks like it's pretty warm outside. So I'm guessing it depends on how windy it is. Like if it's really windy, I ain't doing nothing. Nothing. But if it's not too windy, I might shoot some hoops today. I got to get some cardio in. I got to run up and down a little bit, get a little bit of motion in, do a little bit of movements. We got to get to a gym this summer. By this summer, we got to be fit enough to be able to go to the gym. I got my homies, they bodybuilder workout guys. They're all the way in the Bronx. So if I had a car, I would be going to the gym with them, but I don't have a car and it's going to take me too long to be traveling back and forth to this. But maybe I find a place around here to work out, or something. But we got to get something going on. I 100% want to get back to Duncan. So I got to get to the gym because I got to work out because I want to get back to Duncan. To be honest with you, I miss it. With that being said, everybody, please enjoy your day. Everybody, please enjoy your day. Go just remember, man, there's a shortage of good people out there, right? So we want to try to be some of them good people. There's a shortage of good people out there, man. Let's try to fix that problem. Let's try to be the change that we want to see in the world. Let's do that. Like, comment, subscribe. Join notification gang. Hashtag Bronx Bombers. Let's get it. I love y'all. Take care of each other. Hug the kids for me. I haven't forgotten about you. And that's all I get on this one. I'm out.